Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to look at the races that I usually pick to do the Betfair trading or the trading on Geeks toy. In front of you are the handicaps for Pontefract and Windsor. Those are the only two flat racing meetings today. I don't tend to bother with the jumps racing. I'm more into the flat racing, so these are the only two meetings that I'm really interested in. We also do the all-weather over the winter, so we do go right through the year doing the exchange trading. Now these are obviously the handicaps only, with obviously the two nurseries at the top. And you can see that I'm only interested in Class 5 and above. So Class 5 races would be the lowest that I would go down to. Class 4, I'm quite interested in those kind of races. And I'm not bothered about the distance. I tend to go for any distance in these handicaps. So you can see the layout, and the races are in time order. So we start at Pontefract at 2:10, ending up with the Pontefract 5:40, and in between we've got quite a few races. Runners are important when you're trading, or in my particular case when I'm trading. This one here with 7 runners, I don't think there's going to be many outsiders in the race. We will have a look at it, but I don't think there's going to be that many outsiders that we can trade, especially if you're playing for small stakes. We need to be looking at horses 20 plus in terms of the odds. So we'll have a look at that race, see if there is anything. If there is a very, very short price favourite, you might get something in the race, but I tend to go for the runners with 10 or more in, so we've got a better chance of picking up some decent outsiders. And we can have a look at most of these races, and I can talk you through which horses I would disregard and which ones maybe to focus on. So that's today's racing. If you're interested in this figure here for the ARR at 78, that's the average race rating of the handicap. Now I'll go into that a little bit more detail when we look at the form for the races. But generally all that means is the actual rating or handicap rating of the horse. All of the horses in the race are added up and then divided by the number of runners. I think it gives a more accurate figure when you're analysing the race, instead of just a class 4 events 0 to 80, 0 to 85. If you've got an actual figure that looks at all the runners in the race, then you can see more or less the exact standard of that race at the present time. So that we'll go into that in a little bit more detail later. Obviously I've put in which channel these races are on. Racing UK at the races. Most of the all-weather races are on at the races, but in the summer months I tend to favour the Racing UK because they have the better meetings most of the time. It can change, but most of the time Racing UK cover the top meeting of the day. So the first race is the 2:10 at Pontefract, and we'll put that up and have a look at the prices and the runners. So we click on the horse racing, click on GB and then Pontefract, and then we want to click in the W for the win only market. So I'm going to click the 1 mile nursery. That will load up, and this is the race. Now I'm going to change that back to 10 just by dragging the marker, and then we've got 10 prices, and I'm going to put 3 races underneath each other. Now on first glance at this race, if I click on the first one, we've got another 2 runners that are not on the screen, so I might want to include those in the visual presentation. I'm not really interested in playing on the short price horses, so Mount Moriah, Party Nights at 5.5 and also Silver Link at 5.5, they're not really going to be in my thoughts for the day, so I'm going to include the other horses that are a little bit bigger. So Lucy's Law will come in, so I'll just click on the name of the horse at the top and then change that to Lucy's Law, and that will put that one in. Same with Mount Moriah, click on that and we'll put in Poetic Force. So these are the horses that will be of interest to me in that race at 2:10. Now it's only early days, it's only 9:45 in the morning, so some of these horses may not run, and in general terms in racing nowadays you do get quite a lot of non-runners, which doesn't help when you're trading. So I tend to trade a little bit later now than I usually do because of the non-runner aspect. It is a bit soul destroying when you're trading on a horse for 2 or 3 hours and then it becomes a non-runner and you have to start all over again. So I do leave trading to be a bit later. So that's the first race we're looking at, the 210 at Pontefract. The second race we'll have a look at is the Windsor 250. So again, we'll just go to the market navigation screen, click on the Windsor 250, and again that's another nursery. But this time there's only 7 runners, and I did say before we'll have a look at whether this race is any good for our purposes. And again I'm going to change that so that I've got just 10 odds in that race. So let's have a look. Now we have got 4.1, 4.3, 7, 3.9, 8.2. So those are not really important to us because we're only going to be trading on the outsiders. Now Phoenix Dawn is the only one that I would consider. So that race, although we could trade on Phoenix Dawn, I'm more inclined to want a few more that I can trade on in that race. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm not going to bother with that race today. The next race we're looking at is the Pontefract 310. So again, we'll go down to Pontefract, put up the 310 race, and we'll have a look at this one. Now this has got, again, a couple of short price runners. Indy, for example, I don't want that one. So we're going to trade, I'm going to change it to the highest one, which is Roderick's Secret. I'm also Empress Alley, although I think that horse has a decent chance. It's too short in the market for me to trade with small stakes. And I'm going to change that for Rockwood. Nothing else really. We could change Elbow for High Draw there, but there's not that much in it. And I'm going to leave High Bow in there. Again, it's another one that I think has a decent chance in the race. And the final race that we're going to look at early on is the Windsor 320. Now these are going to be the first 3 races that we're going to look at, and we're going to leave the rest till a little bit later on. So Windsor 320 is going to be the next one. So I'll get the Windsor card up, look at the 320 race, and again there's quite a big field in here, so I'm going to get rid of the ones that are in single figures. So Shifting Star, I'm going to change that for Kahala Dancer, and Berkeley Vale, I'm going to change that for Clever Bob. Now I could also change possibly Hot Mustard for Bond Trader. So that would be the setup for the day. These are the horses that I'm interested in at present, but it is a little bit early to put in our targets in terms of price. You see Party Nights there, got quite a little bit of trading on it, but if you go to some of the outsiders, they don't have that much trades on them, especially if we go down to the race at the bottom. We've got a little bit of trade, but some of them have not really established themselves yet, so we're going to let the markets just get a little bit more progressive, and then we'll come back to them maybe at about 11 o'clock and see what prices we've got and what kind of setting for the prices that we're going to put in, what targets we want in terms of odds for the horses. So that's about it for the video. I know it's only a short video, but this time we're just looking at the races that we want to look at during the day. We're getting rid of some of the short price ones. We're looking at horses that we can trade with the small stakes, and also we've set up the races for later on in the day which we want to have a look at. Now once the Pontefract 210 race has been finished, we can then put in the Windsor 350 and we can still have the 3 visuals in front of us to look at. So that's about it for the video. Next time we'll be looking at some trading, and we'll probably also do a video on looking at form analysis, which again I think is important. You don't really want to trade horses that don't have any form or in terms of trading, they might go out and keep going out because nobody wants to put the bet on them in the first place. So that is important, and we usually look at the form in relation to the price on offer. So that's for the future. This has just been a short video showing the setup in the mornings. Hopefully you'll join us for the next video. Thanks for watching. If you would like to subscribe and get an indication of when the next videos are coming out, do so. It is free to do that. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments section and I'll get back to you probably within 24 hours. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you shortly.